accessible. But we support the shift towards sustainability of our members by going beyond providing financial services. We are actively involved with our clients and our members and their projects, thinking together with them about better ways to do their businesses. Remember, we thank the history of cooperatives in the agri-food sector. We have our own research partners that we have partnered with them, and a large network of actors in the food system. From business to policy makers to Knowlege Institute, TISACO takes the role of network player, because basically we understand agribusiness is a big deal. And when Daktari came to us because of this, that is what clicked in our mind. How can we make this sustainable? It is one thing to start, it is another thing to run it, and it is another thing to make it sustainable. That is why now we come with our muscle in the financial space to give back to the community in that matter, because the ripple effect will have these people farm better. When we make the financing accessible and flexible, these people will farm better, and the ripple effect, the institution TISACO, as much as we are giving back to the community, it will come back to us as deposits, it will come back to us as revenues, it will come back to us as an improved society where people are well sustained. Number two, one of the things that we are doing, we link customers with each other. And with the expertise that we have either in-house and out of our network, well, out of the partners we have, for example, linking a question of a client to an expert. Sometimes we remember we say that as an institution, we don't exist in a vacuum. We exist with people. So these partners that we are bringing on board, we link them together. That is why we have, I was sharing with Daktari and telling Daktari, right now we are running demo farms to just give access. We have supported farmers in different areas of our operations, and we have set our demo farm that it is cutting across various sectors. Talk of dairy. It is my joy to drink a non-processed milk. It is my joy to get a sukuma wiki which is not having all those chemicals. Watoe kwa mbolea ya ng'ombe, they put manure on their land. So we have established a total of 3 demo farms, and we are looking forward to partnering also with Carlo for us to set up a demo farm where we will be taking our farmers. Right now, we are serving about 40,000 farmers only, and we want to go and teach them how to make farming better for them by availing the platforms, because we have the financial muscle and we have partners that we have brought on board. We have the partners in technology and innovations that we have brought on board to ensure that this comes to play. So we organize field days. We are a financial institution, yes, but we organize field days for these people to learn, so that they give us the best food in the industry and to convert their farming into agribusiness. And by that, I said the ripple effect is, of course, I will as an institution, we will be able to benefit. Another thing that we've done is that as TISACO, we are increasingly active in developing markets together with our farmers. Remember, we said that we are a link, we are a network, we play the role of network player. So we are able to also organize those particular markets. For example, casing scenario is the avocado farming. Leave alone the fuetes, the new breeds that have come in the market. We have the traditional avocado that has lost markets. Recently, we urged our people that are farming these traditional avocados to come together and form a group. We lend them so that they get a chain for export. That is something that we are doing as an institution, and that is our role, as a network player. We avail both financing, we avail the partnership with the people who can trust us. Also, we avail the expertise, and we get involved in the process, because we know at the end of the day, we will be all smiling and benefiting. As an institution also, in developing markets, bigger step can generally be made with a relatively small investment. We are not looking at the people who have it. We are actually targeting the people who have not, who do not have the resources. So that we avail the resources, the little capital investment they put in place here in our country can primarily works together with we work with the local government. We also work with the national government to ensure that we have the resources, the like of even the grants. Recently, TAISACO has brought on board a TAI Foundation for these purposes, whereby we have to give, yes, we know the resources will come back to us as people who are banked, but again, we need to start a journey with them. And the agribusiness is something that is very instrumental to making this happen. So as an institution, as a financial institution, we don't only thrive in just giving money out. We thrive in the process of ensuring that people are empowered, people have grown, so that now we end up all having a healthy community to bank with us, a healthy feeding system that will be able to put us together as healthy people, because I can offer finances, I can offer the money, but if I am not offering it to a healthy community, then I don't think I am impacting the community, because my vision and mission clearly advises me that my need to operate is to transform the lives of our members socially and economically through provision of the timely and innovative solutions. These which I'm mentioning are part of our initiatives to ensure that the businesses, the agribusiness our people are involving themselves in is sustainable. TAISACO basically encourages its members in agribusiness to organize themselves into groups. It is more sustainable if you people are associated in groups, so that they can be able to reap maximum benefits. So that when we are bringing on board an expert, we are bringing on board an expert to talk about these particular success stories, these particular mechanisms in a group, so that we do not just empower one person, but empower people in a group. This enabling them to invest, for example, in better storage methods for their product. This serves their interest as well as the interest of the larger consumers further down to the value chain, sourcing from the small holders, because the small holders are if they're put together, they end up having very big provision. So as an institution, these are some of the things that we are doing. And also, above all, we are targeting especially things that have been let down, the people in the horticultural space, the avocado farmers that still have those massive or big trees that used to provide for us those traditional avocados. They have lost market because we have now the avocados are juicy too. So we have gone back to identify those particular farmers. Look at the poultry farming. When one of the presenters was presenting that even the poultry farmers nowadays, it is not the traditional mayai we used to avail. We have gone back to the poultry farmers so that we see, we advise them, we bring the experts to ensure that they produce the mayai in a natural way. Look at our dairy farmers. The cows are being fed in a very unhealthy way, so that now they produce more milk. We have gone to teach the right ways of doing the dairy farming. So as an institution, as a financial institution, we have also customized our products. Let them come in, yes, and we empower them in the agri-based space, but also let them be transformed. Whatever they come out with, from this particular agricultural produce. They sell it to the market, and they are able to even acquire assets. They are able to do to change their life by doing construction for their houses. They are able to educate their children by us offering them educational loans. They are able to take insurances by us availing the insurance through our insurance agency. They are able also to get into the green energy space, the biogas, the solar. We avail these monies to them when they do the right farming, when they produce in the right manner. And we have availed experts to enable them get the market into the market space. Then they find us on this other side with the financial solutions for their current needs. They have a healthy plate, they have a healthy lifestyle. Now we empower them economically so that now they move from one level to another. When they see themselves engaging into the healthy agri-based activity, and by extension they're able to make money from their activity, they are able to bring about an healthy community, then they find us on the other side to offer them money solution for their other needs. As much as we are supporting them in the agriculture, we also want them to grow economically. They acquire those assets, they drive those cars, they get into decent houses, they ensure that their children are in school, they utilize the green energy because it is basically helping us to prevent the climatical pollution. They get themselves cooking with the right, ensuring that they have the biogas with them. They are using the solar. Basically, I wish to end my presentation there, but TiSACO, we are doing a lot. Our 31 years of experience in the market, and especially in the space where we have the farmers, we have evolved. We have been able to relate with the challenges and all these mechanisms, all these products that I've mentioned. It is because we understand what is the current need of the market. Yes, Daktari. I think I wish to stop my presentation there.
Thank you so much, Joy. Wow, I didn't know even TiSACO you are old. I thought you were just a new guy in the new guy.
31 years old, and 31 young boy having a family.
They mutated.
Yeah.
They mutated from Kiabu Pairedram.
Thank you so much.
Kiamuti growers to now TiSACO.
Yeah, thank you, Joy. And I'm happy to hear that you're willing to work with us as we support our farmers, as we help them to relearn, because what we are giving is not new information. This is the information that our fathers, our grandfathers, they had. So this is information that some of us saw and experienced when we were growing up. So we need to deliver ourselves from the Western system of thinking, which is actually a human operating system, and start thinking about how to help ourselves. It is possible, the opportunity is there, and we can bring change to our families. So thank you so much, Joy. I trust we are going to work together.
Yes.
Now, Joseph Kamau. Joseph Kamau is an agriculturist. I've worked with Joseph at the county. I have seen his passion in agriculture. And I normally say Kamau is not those guys who fall in agriculture because there was no other course, but because what he does it with passion, being in different sectors in agriculture. So I want to welcome him now to give us an insight, tell us what he's all about with the African indigenous foods. And then we only have how many minutes? We only have 19 minutes. So Kamau, I'm giving you, how many minutes do I give you? 15?
15 will be adequate, Daktari.
All right. So go ahead. You're welcome.
Okay. Thank you very much, Daktari, and all the participants. Good evening. My name is Joseph Kamau, and I'm an agriculturist by profession. And I'm going to make a very brief presentation, which will take us about maybe 10 to 15 minutes. I hope I'll be able to make myself an admin. Are we able to view the presentation on the screen?
No.
No? How about now? Is it visible?
No.
Okay, I don't know how to do it. Probably I'm going to skip that, but go through the slides. And the topic that I want to present, of course, culminating to the African Indigenous Food and Food System Expo, which will happen in November, and I'll not go to the details because I'm sure Dr. Ali has gone through that, is mine will be a simple presentation on the trends in agriculture, the challenges faced, and the mitigations to food insecurity at the household level. And we start by defining what is food security, and we can only get it through the reverse of what is food security, and we define food insecurity as a condition where the population does not have the physical, social, and economic access to affordable, sufficient, safe, and nutritious foods. And that, of course, we have to underline or put a disclaimer that is excluding what we call relief food. So this should be a self-sustaining system, that we're able to get all that without depending on relief food. And these foods should be able to meet our daily dietary needs for an active and healthy life. Of course, all this is anchored through several registrations and laws, and particularly our Constitution 2010, Article 43, gives the right to for every human being to be free from hunger and have adequate food of acceptable quality. If you look at the Sustainable Development Goals, goal number 2 talks about zero hunger. So whatever you're trying to achieve through these indigenous food systems is all anchored in the several rules and legislations. If we move back, I'd like to look at a few quick facts and look at Kenya with a total arable land of about 5.8 million hectares. So much as we talk about land subdivision, land ownership, we still have adequate land in the tune of about 5.8 million hectares, which is 10% of our land, and we should be working to make the other 90% arable. But before we even talk about the other 90%, let's utilize adequately the 10% that is available. With the current population of about 50 going to 55 million now, we realize that 30% of that population is actually suffering from what you're calling food insecurity. The value of food imports currently lies at about 185 billion per year. That's a huge proportion, because if you look at now the county allocation revenue, the tune of about 400 billion or 300 billion, that is about 50% of what the national government allocates to the counties. So it's a huge proportion, and if you can be able to reduce that proportion by ensuring that our food systems are sustainable, then we're able to save a lot when it comes now to the budgetaries. The major products that are imported into Kenya is maize, wheat, sugar, and rice. Of course, those are the bulk ones. The other minor ones, but those 4 items carry the bulk of the inputs. How do we ensure that our producers, even within the indigenous food system, understand what are the daily requirements per capita? And through a quick calculation, I don't want to go to the finer details, is that each human being should be allocated about 2,500 kilocalories per day. And if you visit now the nutritionist, you'll be able to tell how much kilocalories is available for each food type. And through that kind of calculation, then we should be able to ensure that our population is secure, both in terms of quantities and also in terms of nutrition. What are the current trends? I'll just mention about 4 main trends. Is that we see a reduced per capita food production, and this is whereby the food production rate, or the increase in food production, is actually lower than the rate of population increase. So it's not that we are producing less food than we used to do, but it's only that now the unit production is much lower than the population. We also see a replacement of food crops with cash crops, and this has been discussed by all the presenters in what we are calling over-commercialization. That everybody is looking at what is giving straight income instead of looking at what is giving food on the table. We also see reduced economies of scale, and this is increasing the unit production cost. Because of course of the reduced farm sizes, we see that people are producing in smaller units, and financially, or according to economies of production, that increases the unit production cost. We also see a trend of over-selection. Over-selection is whereby we are narrowing now our biodiversity or the range of crops that we are growing. And that, of course, has a negative effect. If I learn across the challenges that we are facing to food security, and this is not only narrowed down to the household level, but it's both at the household level, nationally and regionally. Some of them I just mentioned in passing because they have been addressed adequately by the previous presenters. And the main one that, not that is most important, but the first one is climate change. And this is what you're talking about now, the rainfall and the temperature changes, the inadequate rainfall, the patterns have changed, resulting to either droughts or also in terms of floods. We also have the population pressure, whereby we find that more population still relies on the same resources that were relied in the centuries where the population was much lower. There's the issue of the land tenure system, and this has been discussed also in details. The issue of land use and management, and also the ownership. There's the seed systems, and here you're talking about the quality, affordability, and availability. There's the policy issues, that is the legislative, which go about governance and the regulations that are put in place. There's the issue of logistics, and this brings infrastructure barriers. There's the issue of the endemic factors, and this is the soil as a factor of production with all its characteristics. We also have post-harvest losses, and here you are addressing the wastages, both after harvest and also after preparation. What we call, there's a lot of food wastages even after cooking, despite the fact that there's a proportion that is wasted between the farm and storage. We also have an issue with the cultural and religious factors, and here we have traditions and beliefs that are actually negative to our food security. There is the issue of financial constraints, and here Tai Cycle has given us a lot of insights. The issue that we currently now face is the cost of credit and also the cost of input. So there are those financial issues and related to the insurance. We also face challenges with urbanization, and urbanization we are looking at it from two angles. One, of course, is the rural-urban migration and the change of user from agricultural to residential. We also have an issue with the knowledge dissemination, and this is why we have extension and training that has been hampered. So having considered those challenges, they are not exhaustive, but those should be the main categories. We look at now the mitigation measures. And before we go to each measure, we ask ourselves, why have previous strategies failed? And the reality is that previous strategies have failed because they're not holistic in their approach. And this is why we look at a food system approach, which encompasses all the entire actors and the activities that are involved. So we look at all the nodes from production, aggregation, processing, distribution, consumption, and also disposal of the food products. When you look at food, you're looking at both the crops, livestock, and livestock includes the fisheries. We're looking at a sustainable food system that delivers food security and nutrition for all in such a way that the economic, social, and environmental basis to generate the food security are not hampered, or they are available for future generations. So that we should not compromise and produce just for generations without remembering that we have a tomorrow. A disruption in any of these systems, of course, we know the consequences, and we have seen this through the climate changes, is that there's a lot of effect, both in terms of now the current and the future productivity. If you look at now, if you go to a bit deeper and look at the issue of the climate change, we look at it both from mitigation and adaptation. And I'm sure Sarah have spoken a lot of this, so I'll not dwell on it. But we're looking at environmental conservation the sustainable good agricultural practices to ensure that production factors are available for current and future generations. We want to reduce dependency on rain-fed agriculture, adapt irrigation, rainwater harvesting. At the household level, we want to promote the construction of water pans. At national level, we also want to create construction of dams, promote recycling, green energy irrigation, talk about agroforestry and afforestation. If we look at now the breeds, we want to look at livestock breeds and crop varieties so that when we are selecting them that they are adaptable both to drought and they also mature early, so that even when you get fewer days of rainfall, the crop is able to go through the full cycle from germination to harvesting. We also want to improve the resilience at the household levels, and this is through information and early warning systems. Currently, and I'm not a meteorologist, we find that sometimes you are warned there will be a lot of rains, and we end up with the reverse. Or we are told that there will be no rains, and then we end up with the floods. If I look at the second issue, which was now the land tenure system, we are looking at zoning so that some areas are purely meant for agriculture, and we don't convert them. We don't urbanize those areas. We're looking at land subdivision. How can we have regulations that will have minimal land sizes that are not allowed to be subdivided further? Looking at the issue of idle land, how do we utilize some of the idle land in terms of thousands and thousands of acres that is riding idle as a national resource, and yet we are talking about the arable land percentage. We still have some arable lands that is lying idle. The issue of ownership, some is classified as public, community, family, or private land, and that all hampers the usage. So, nevertheless, we look at having been innovative in our utilization. Hello?
We are running short of time.
Oh, okay, I'll be quick. Next 5 minutes. So
we're looking at 5 minutes. We only have 2 minutes.
Okay, innovative utilization, and that is in terms of urban farming, vertical gardens. We look at seed systems, and here you talked about providing farmers with the superior seed qualities. When I talk about seed qualities, it's not at the expense of our indigenous seed system, but we're looking at providing seeds that are adaptable to the different agroecological zones, bulking, availability, affordability, and packaging, so that they are affordable to the farmers. In terms of logistics and infrastructure, we want to make sure that the farms are accessible through good roads, so that farm inputs can flow directly to the farms, transport of farm produce from the farms to the markets, and also to access storage facilities. Looking at the soil factors, we need to ensure that ourselves, we are producing organically. And here I talk about many use of the manures and organic soil additives to avoid what we are calling now the synthetic soil additives. Post-harvest losses, I think that has been discussed. I just mentioned the last two slides. We are looking at now a combination of having several stakeholders, and here we are looking at, sorry?
I want to cut you because we are going to be cut off. We've received a warning. But I want to inform people that we are going to have another webinar, and I know you'll be available maybe to share the notes, but as of now, because the time has run out, I would like to thank everyone who has attended, and I appreciate every effort that we are making to make this expo a reality. So
I think I can conclude this. Thank you very much on behalf of Dr. Njoki. It was nice having all the presenters, and this is it was a good start. We do hope that we are on. Tentatively, I'm planning that we should have this, because we only have 3 months or 4 months to go. We propose that we have it monthly, so that this was in July, and we have the other one is agreeable in August.
Kabisa.
If that's agreeable, then we'll
same time. 1 month away.
1 month away?
Yes.
And probably because I'm sure you'll have more participants. I don't know whether you can book. I know it's not good to keep people waiting for very long, But
Yes.
either we should not, 2 hours is a minimum, but probably we can extend it to 2.5 hours so that
And have
we
discussion
have,
time, eh?
yeah, we have more discussion time because today was just presentation, but we really didn't
Yes.
have a lot of discussion time.
Yes.
And we might even have more presenters.
Sure.
Yeah.
One is to appreciate what everybody has, the way you had prepared it was very intensive. We appreciate. And I'm sure for the next presentation, a webinar, we can have maybe other diverse topics, right, Kamau?
Yes.
Yes, so that by the time as we near the expo, we will be having a lot of information put on our web page, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes.